Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're getting to my first set of Ultra League Premier Cup battles. Now, you might notice change of scenery. I happen to be away on vacation with some family right now, but I'm too excited for this new meta. I'm too excited to share these battles and to test different teams to see how the Ultra League Premier Cup meta develops. So what I did was I looked at PvP Poke, obviously, saw the first couple Pokemon, top Pokemon, Swampert, Venusaur, and I know I really just wanted to use Obstagoon. I had so much fun with it last time around Ultra League, so I'm like, alright, there's my team, no obvious weaknesses. That's what I put together. Let's see how this set goes, but before we jump into it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, awesome. Let's get into these battles. Now, if you don't know what Premier Cup battles are, or Ultra League Premier Cup battles, we had a version of it last season in Master League where they ban all legendaries and mythical Pokemon from the meta. So you won't be seeing any Cresselias this time around, you won't be seeing any Giratina Altars, you won't be seeing any Registeals in Ultra League Premier Cup battles. Now, regular Ultra League still exists, but you can choose between which meta you would like to do your battles in. And because of that, Venusaur got a huge boost. A lot of those legendaries countered Venusaur hard, and I had not seen it in battles since like preseason, season 1. But now without those legendaries there, Venusaur reigns pretty high up there with Swampert, and I really just wanted to use Obstagoon, so I'm like, let's see how this team of 3 goes together. So, getting into this match, I just finished Vine Whipping down that Togekiss. I'm waiting for them to bring in their Pokemon. They end up bringing in their Shadow Snorlax because I had one lead. I had Obstagoon on Shadow Snorlax. The counters from Obstagoon scared the Snorlax away, and I had a nice hard counter for their Togekiss in the form of Venusaur, and I was able to leave that matchup with so much energy. I'm getting to another Frenzy Plant here, and this will either take out the Snorlax's remaining health or get my opponent's first shield. So we're even on shields. Venusaur's dumped all its energy. Obstagoon can handle this Snorlax, so I'm cool with letting Venusaur go down. Now that Venusaur is down, I'm going to bring in Obstagoon, I'm going to counter, and they swap into an Obstagoon of their own, and I throw the Night Slash because I'm hoping they think I have Cross Chop, and I really want to threaten that last shields. Unfortunately, I don't get it, so I make my swap into Swampert, because I would prefer to have Swampert lined up with the Obstagoon, and Obstagoon lined up with my opponent's Snorlax. Those matchups would go better for me. So, I get their Obstagoon in the red, still haven't gotten their shield yet. They're going for a charge move. This is going to be a Night Slash. I have no problem not shielding it in case they do get boosted. They did not get boosted there. They're going for another Night Slash. I'm not going to shield this one either because you saw how much the first one did. It puts me in the yellow, and they end up getting the boost, and now I'm worried that their Obstagoon will try to shield this Hydro Cannon and then counter down my Swampert and then counter down my Obstagoon. They let it go through, luckily, and now the Snorlax is coming back out. They're going to attempt a lick down, and I'm going to just get to that Hydro Cannon in time, which will either take out the Snorlax and win me the match, or get their last shields. It's going to get their last shields. I swap immediately into my Obstagoon, counter away. They throw a charge move. This is either Body Slam or Superpower. They definitely don't have enough energy for 2 superpowers, so they threw the first one, which is fine. I shielded it. Since Obstagoon takes double super effective damage from fighting, that probably would have taken out the remaining health, but because I shielded it, they ended up quitting, and I took the first match of Ultra League Premier Cup. I'm extremely excited about this Ultra League Premier Cup meta because we won't be seeing those legendaries, we won't be seeing Cresselia every match, we'll be seeing new stuff every match. I've definitely been seeing a lot of Lapras, so this was my first set, and I've done like a few sets after. A lot of the meta is seeming to shape around Lapras, Venusaur, Swampert, also Excavalier because it kind of takes care of that Lapras and Venusaur combo. I know Obstagoons are all over the place. I've been seeing a lot of Snorlaxes, I've been seeing a few Togekisses. Let me know what you guys have been seeing. So, my opponent's going for an Ice Punch here on their Poliwrath. I let it go through because even though it's super effective, I still want to manage my shields properly, and Poliwrath doesn't get stabbed on it. Ice Punch isn't really the best move, so I can get away with really surviving too because the following Mud Shots aren't really threatening to take me down. I end up shielding that one. I'm going to overfarm a little bit just cause, and I'm throwing my first Frenzy Plant. This will either get their shield or it should take out the remaining health of the Poliwrath. It gets their shield, and now we're just in a race to a charge move. They get to another Ice Punch here, and I'm okay with losing switch advantage as long as I can have shield advantage. I survive this Ice Punch. I'm going to get to another Frenzy Plant here, and this will either let me keep switch advantage or it will get their last shield and then they'll try to Mud Shot me down. They shielded, so now I decide to swap. I bring in Swampert here because I know that they're probably going to throw one more charge move being Dynamic Punch. Now I can shield it, throw up the shield, and now I can over farm a bit. So I'm going to over farm. I know that Lapras is in the back, and an a loaded Swampert on energy really isn't too worried about the Lapras. So I go for the Hydro Cannon here. It just barely doesn't take out the Polygraph, but I'm able to Mud Shot it down. Makes it an even better situation for me. So Lapras comes back in. I'm going to go for an Earthquake. They're going to throw their Charge move before I do, though. This is most likely an Ice Beam. Ends up being an Ice Beam. And now I'm going to overfarm a little bit again. Throw the Earthquake. This will not take out the remaining health of the Lapras, but it will get it really low. So now it's in the red, and we CMP tied. I don't have any shields. The Lapras is going to take out my Swampert. And I'm just going to hope I can counter down the Lapras with my Obstagoon, and then my Obstagoon can beat whatever they have in the back, and it's a Togekiss, which is one of the Obstagoon's biggest counters, but I'm carrying Gunk Shot, and this is why you carry Gunk Shot, right? I'm going to Gunk this Togekiss, and it's going to get one shot. I'm going to win this match. I'm going to clutch it, alright? No, apparently Obstagoon does not just one-shot all of Togekiss's health with a Gunk Shot, and I was so upset when I just barely didn't take it out, and their practically dead Lapras finishes off my Venusaur there. Very unfortunate. Alright, so after 2 battles this set, I'm currently 1-1. Lost a Heartbreaker there, but it's okay. We're going to bounce back in this third match. We got an Obstagoon on Lapras lead, and Obstagoon is a great counter for Lapras because it deals super effective damage with its counters. So my opponent swapped into Escavalier, and luckily I had switch advantage because I learned very quickly this team has a heavy weakness to Escavalier. Obstagoon loses hard to it, Venusaur loses pretty hard to it also. Swampert has the best matchup, but it's really not like I'm hard walling the Escavalier, so this is not necessarily a team I would highly recommend. Even though that's one of the weaknesses, it does have a lot of strengths, but there are other ones, I promise. So, my opponent ends up not shielding the first Hydro Cannon, going for a second one. This will either take out the remaining health of the Escavalier, or will get their shield. It gets their first shield. And now we're just going to try and play the pacing game, see who beats who to the charge move. I would like to kind of keep switch advantage, but then at the same time, I remember I had Venusaur also in the back for that Lapras, so I'm not too worried about switch advantage. I probably should have been a little bit more worried because I don't know what their third Pokemon is. But I bring in the Venusaur here, and I know I can get to a Frenzy Plant, but we CMP tie, unfortunately. And I'm worried about this being a Mega Horn because it'll deal neutral damage and it'll hurt Venusaur a lot. Unfortunately, ends up being a Drill Run, and because we CMP tied, I was forced to throw my charge move, and I could have completely undercharged it, but I feel like it was going to take it out either way. It might not have, honestly. I probably could have farmed it down. That probably would have been the best play. But in this case, I do outpace a Lapras to the charge move. I'm going to throw this Frenzy Plant. It will most likely get their last shield, or it'll get like the Lapras really, really low. It didn't get their shield. It got the Lapras really low, and I tried to swap on the charge move because I was worried about their last Pokemon and I wanted to save Venusaur for it. The swap didn't go through, and then we find out there's another Togekiss in the back, and they still had that shield. So we already lost a Heartbreaker in the last match of Togekiss, and me getting off this Gunk Shot is just me doing it for the memes because the trash can got shielded. So now we're 1-2, and this team has a bit of a weakness to Togekiss, but not really. Obstagoon's the main Pokemon weak to it. Venusaur handles it well. Swampert can do good damage to it. Just keeps on falling on my Obstagoon. Alright, so getting into the fourth match of the set. We're hoping we don't see another Togekiss, at least not on the Obstagoon. And we get an Obstagoon on a Drifloon lead. This is also a positive lead for me because Obstagoon is normal and dark, which means it triple resists all of Drifloon's ghost moves. And then on top of it, even though my counters are triple resisted by Drifloon because of its ghost and flying typing, my Night Slashes deal super effective damage, and I got the boost. So the boost is great. My opponent's staying in this for whatever reason. They can't throw a Shadow Ball, do absolutely nothing, so they're going to throw an Icy Wind. Obstagoon can tank a bunch of Icy Winds, and because I got the boost, it's a 2-stage attack boost, and when they throw the Icy Wind, it's only a 1-stage debuff. So technically my attack is up 1 stage. They shielded that next Night Slash for whatever reason. I mean, whatever you want to give me your shields in this matchup, you want to play this one out, be my guest. Obstagoon walls Drifloon pretty hard. So I'm going to get to another Night Slash here, and even though my attack stat just got debuffed again, so it's back to like its normal level, this still gets the Drifloon extremely low, and I was almost able to counter it down. It does get to 1 more Icy Wind, but Obstagoon is still going to have a decent chunk of health here. So I win this lead situation. I have shield advantage. Obstagoon has a little bit of energy. It is a little bit debuffed and has a little bit of health left, but this is a positive start to this match. They end up bringing a Swampert, a Shadow Swampert at that. I like that. But now I can kind of see why they didn't swap out of the situation. I guess they figured they brought in Swampert, it would get hard countered. I do have Venusaur literally waiting in the back for the Swampert. They can't Mudshot me down either, so we CMP tie on the charge move. I'm cool with it. I will let it go through. I don't mind you taking out Obstagoon when it has that much health with a Hydro Cannon. Venusaur will come in and clean up. We're going to wait to see. They swap in a Snorlax. So yes, I'm seeing a lot of Snorlaxes. Swampert doesn't counter it, but Swampert does enough damage with Hydro Cannon to essentially keep this situation as even as possible and allow me to, well, going to win out the remainder of this match. There's really no play here for them to make. Venusaur lines up too nicely with Swampert. Swampert lines up more than enough with the Snorlax, and now it's just going to be an exchange of charge moves until this match ends up ending. So I'm going for another Hydro Cannon here. This will not do any damage because the opponent decided to quit, which I can't blame them. This team definitely has its strengths. We've really seen how well it can do against Lapras, how well it can do against Snorlax, and how well it can do against Swampert, because each of these Pokemon either have a nice even matchup with it or counter one of them. Now, what this team is going to struggle heavily against, other than just Escavalier, is Heracross. And this was not one that I caught because even though I do expect Heracross to definitely have play in Ultra League Premier, it's just not a mon I even came to mind when I'm like, what could this team potentially have weaknesses against? And this entire team is pretty much weak to Heracross because Venusaur will lose hard to it, Obstagoon will lose hard to it, Swampert loses close, which is why I swapped it in, and luckily they took a Hydro Cannon, but now they swapped into a Licky, and I still gotta deal with that Heracross later in the match. I gotta figure out what the heck I can do, because it now also has shield disadvantage. Now, I do appreciate the Shundo, I'm pretty sure this has Shundo CP, Licky flex, but Licky compared to Snorlax, very similar. The one main difference you can make the argument on wanting to use Licky is because it carries Shadow Ball, whereas that's not a move in Snorlax's arsenal. But Snorlax has a lot of other options for moves, and the fact that it has so many options, I feel gives it even more play because you never know what's really coming. Whereas with Licky, you're running Body Slam, and you're either running Earthquake as the other charge move or Shadow Ball. And I'm pretty sure we find out in this match that they're running Earthquake because they just licked the heck out of my Swampert. And then I go back into Obstagoon because I want to counter it down, and I also know Obstagoon doesn't have good play against that Heracross. So Earthquake comes through, does a good chunk, it's a little bit over 50%, and then they swap immediately into Heracross. And what I should have done in that situation, because I was just so afraid of the Heracross, was I should have thrown the Night Slash to threaten the last shield so that Venusaur could have a good time against this Heracross after it gets to this Frenzy Plant. But now I'm going to overcharge. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant here because this will either get the shield or take out the Heracross. It gets a shield, and I'm really hoping that I can get to another Frenzy Plant before they get to a charge move. I wasn't able to, and I'm fully expecting a Mega Horn to come through. It deals neutral damage, and it hits hard, gets Venusaur really low, and Venusaur would have had a lot more health if I would have done the steps that I just mentioned before. So I throw the Night Slash here, we'll take out the Heracross. The Licky's still alive, and I haven't even seen their third Pokemon. Ends up being an Aggron, which was a bit of a flex also. So the team I just lost to, super spice. Aggron, Licky, and Heracross, I respect it. So that's my first set of Ultra League Premier Cup battles. Didn't do so well, went 2-3. It actually ended up being the only negative set I had of the day. I changed up the team, tried out some spice. I think I've settled on a potential good team that I want to continue using, so that might be in the next video. We'll see if I continue to have success. I definitely have the clips. I'm still really excited for this meta. Let me know what your thoughts are, and please tell me what teams you're running in the comment section. Also, let me know if you jumped right into Ultra League Premier Cup battles like I did, or if you've been planning to do regular Ultra, because I think that meta had to have changed at least a little bit due to the Registeel nerfs to Focus Blast and Flash Cannon, and the Cresselia nerf to Moonblast. So I think my plan going forward for this portion of the season is to do both Premier and regular Ultra League, because I'm really excited about Premier, but I'm also interested to see what regular Ultra is going to look like because of those nerfs. Now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.